She wants 3
I don't
more
want
million in the seat.
When you're buying those kinds of quantities, you don't want surprises. Nice as they might be, you really have to have. That's why God invented catalogs with photos and numbers and prices. What you see is what you get. In the real world, above the the show world, the craft show world, and you're moving up. No. And now it's production, and that's why you really have to think seriously about this, because that's what happens. Years ago, when I lived in Colorado, I've always been into food, I've been a caterer and all that, and a new restaurant was opening in town, and I applied. And I applied for the job as a bartender, knowing that if you go in, at least you have your foot in the door, and if there's another opening, they might. And I started talking to the gal, and I got hired as a sous chef. And I thought, oh my God, I'm a chef, I'm going to create, I'm going to do this.
You're cutting carrots. Cutting carrots.
You've been chopping onions. Cutting carrots.
Over
a lot of lettuce. Plus, it's Colorado with the altitudes are not. Oh, those pies on Thanksgiving Day, I don't even want to think. So that's the perfect analogy. You're going from being creative and doing wonderful little things to
producing.
Production.
Yeah.
And if you can't produce, bye.
Go home.
It's over. And again, if you say, well, I don't want to do that, I want to do what I'm doing, fine. Well, you know, do where your heart is. Life is too short. Don't do it because you think you should. Do it because you want to. If you want to move out and take over the world, go for it. But if you love what you're doing and you love the creativity of it, and do it, because there's not enough love in this world. So, you know, you got to take it where you can find it. Any more questions?
Well, I just have a comment. I've been a buyer and a retail manager, and I've gone to gift shows, and I know it. One of the I worked in a store in North Adams, and we were looking for a new pocketbook line. There were a couple new pocketbook lines and we went to the gift show in Marlboro, and we found. I mean, ours. Part of it was she was a funky kind of store. It wasn't a Ann Taylor kind of stuff. It was Galadriel's, and she had she had Gita, and she had a lot of Indian prints and. As they say, it's not your business attire generally. I mean, you can mix and match with business attire, but it's not a business attire store. So her customers were a little eclectic and were looking for different things. And price point, obviously, in North Adams is a big issue. So we were trying to find decent quality, unique products in a price point. And so if we ordered, a lot of the stuff that she ordered, she understood that, she would order something and it would come in 3 different colors or 3 different variations, and that every piece wasn't going to come in the same, and it wouldn't look like exactly like the picture or what you ordered, but it was a general concept.
Okay, so let me back up on that, because yes, if you're told in front,
right,
and you can see it, because I've experienced that too, and I've bought it, especially stuff from India. The guy at the show will say, "This comes, and you have to get all 3, and this is what it looks like." Fine. It comes down to no surprises. That's really what I mean.
In our case, it was more of an idea. We wanted a concept more than, and it wasn't even India. We picked up a bag line that had, I think they were made somewhere in the Northeast, and they had cat prints, and they had wine prints, and they had different prints and different stuff.
Why isn't she in business anymore? I live in North Adams now, and they're not there.
And again, it's what you are buying for your store,
right?
Buying from my store the way I just don't want surprises,
right?
Unless I know ahead of time what the surprises are going to be,
What about merchandising, as far as tagging the items with your logo, your business name? Is there an advantage to presenting?
I much prefer the items to come in. Okay.
Does it depend on whether it's consignment or wholesale as well? I mean, if it's wholesale, you own it, so it's going to have your tag on it.
Everything's going to have my price tag on it anyway.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
Especially since it's consignment and it's local, I want the customer to look at it and say, "Oh, how cool! This is, and it's made by a person, and this is all." I really would like a tag no bigger than a business card, preferably smaller, depending on the product. You know, everything is always depending on everything. But, you know, it should have the name of the person, their logo, their, you know, whatever it is. And if it's jewelry or anything, it should say, written on the back, what it is and what it's made from, especially in jewelry with all these things about, you know, or the fabric that it's made from. That's wonderful. Just leave me a little room to put my price tag on it. Whatever you do, if you bring me stuff with your tag, please don't put a price on it. Please, I'm begging, please. Because it changes, it's different. And if somebody brings me in something, I might think it's underpriced. You know, and I'm sitting at the computer and I can't get you on the phone, and I'm going to say, do you mind if I raise it $10? So I'm going to do it. But if you have the price written on it, even if I put my sticker over it, we have peel-off stickers, don't you know every customer in the world is going to peel that off and there. So, yes.
Oh, thank God. Do you look at, I know you carry some artworks.
Not much.
Okay. Do you deal with them differently, or do you have different expectations, or is that?
Art. When we did this 2 years ago, when we switched the store over, I guess our first thought was it's going to be mostly art. Because we really didn't know what we were doing. And so we brought in tons and tons and tons of art, most of which is still there. And I found from talking around the area, first of all, art doesn't seem to be selling very well. And I figured out, I guess after 3 or 4 months, people come into a gift shop, they're not buying an $800 painting. Excuse me, they're not. I'm lucky if they'll buy a small framed or matted print. They'll buy almost anything that has a red lion and image on it. And they'll buy almost anything that has a Simon the cat image on it. Simon is the house cat that lives at the inn. Aww. And he is a superstar. It's amazing how... Oh, please. The way adults behave around this cat. I was coming in, it was a snowy...
We can't go, we're cat people.
Well, I walked in, it was cold, it was snowy, I was grumpy one morning, and there's a whole group of people standing in the lobby in a circle, kind of. And there was Simon. And I swear to God, they're all going, ooh, 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 ooh. And one woman literally said, get his picture, he's a celebrity.
And did you feel better? Were you not grumpy anymore?
Did you come into the boutique and meow and purr?
He's my celebrity. I'm mom to Simon.
So you said, that's my boy.
That's my boy. Yeah, Simon is, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I have capitalized on Simon. We have Simon t-shirts, we have Simon magnets, we have Simon stationery. I'm shameless, I'm sorry.
That's okay, my cat has a
You're a
Facebook
proud
page.
mom.
Mine need one too, so
Yeah,
they can talk.
I made my cat a Facebook page, there's no shame in it.
Simon has a face.
See? Oh, I'm going to friend him. Barnaby will friend Simon.
Please do.
Muggsy's feeling very left out.
Is there any other questions for Jane?
Muggsy needs his own Facebook.
Before we order some dinner? Does anybody have any questions for Jane? Any other questions for Jane? Jane, thank you for your time.
I would like to offer, just because I neglected to bring handouts for y'all, my email is jchurch@redlioninn.com.
How funny, I've seen that.
Probably, well, yes.
And then, you know, but you don't put the face with the, you know.
You've seen it. She's
Yeah.
But if you have any questions, if you want more information on what I've talked about, I'm really more than happy to answer questions.
Can we come hang out with Simon?
Yes, you can email Simon.
Oh, okay.